All right, Shalom, Laha Alahayim, peace to the gods, Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath peace, Nawathan Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Hakodash, giving all praises to Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors into the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do rule well, who I've learned this 100% truth from, are the true leaders of all Israel, Yasha Allah, today. Yah, He, Shah, Prince, Allah, Power. Prince, He is a Prince of the Power. This is your brother Tazapani of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. camp, Adawan Ratazah. Lord willing, this quick hit, all right, lunch, meditation, lunch epistle, digital epistles edifying to the elect. And Salakia, if it's loud over here, is a main street right behind me, but I'm gonna talk as loud as I can, Lord willing. All right, but so they saying things. I did my little research on. I was meditating on it because one, it's regarding the battlefield where we go out to the highways and hedges, specifically of my ecclesia. The called out ones, the church. In Washington D.C., one of the three unclean spirits, like a frog, pursuant to Revelation, the city states. All right, Vatican, London, and D.C./Langley, Virginia. All right, but D.C. all right is obviously where who I fellowship with and congregate with the elders. Head Elder Monaghan. All right, Elder Menashe, Elder Kasat Magan, Elder Zion Nala, Elder Shamar Moth, and being out there, whether it be leisure time or really during camp times, you see what's going on out there, right? DC is referred to as the chocolate city. A lot of people that's from there, they would say it's not like that no more because of gentrification. All right, but there's still a good majority in certain pockets of the District of Columbia of so-called black people. That's why they call it chocolate city. Okay, so the so-called black American, so-called Negro is really of the tribe of Judah. That's your true nationality. All right, and DC pretty much at this point in those pockets, it is violent. Drug infested, drug fiends everywhere. Walking Dead look, that type of look. So when something has that environment like that, and people have that stigma or stereotype on a specific part of the city, you could get away with a lot of things. So and the reason why I say that is because somebody that was connected to Elon Musk and Nero, which is was his President Trump reincarnated. Okay, the ancient Caesar Nero. All right, whether you could believe that or not. Um, some kid supposedly was trying to help out a woman from not getting robbed, and then he got jumped and he was bloody and so on and so forth, and that was the catalyst, okay, for him to say, oh, we're going to federalize it because of the crime. Now we know how this devil moves, right? He comes out the womb speaking lies. He's estranged from the womb, as it says in the book of Psalms. It says, be not ignorant of Satan's devices, because the so-called white man, his true nationality are the Edomites, okay? And they are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Satan just means adversary. Shatan in the Hebrew, Satanos in the Greek, all right? So we know that they use Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. They start the problem, all right, looking for a certain reaction of the people so that they can bring about their solution or their agenda, all right? And this could very well be a Hegelian dialectic situation. But the point that I'm bringing out is because when I was meditating on it, because we know through ICE, immigration and customs, is it immigration, customs, something? They've been going at the Northern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom is your so-called Latin tribes, Issachar, so-called Mexicans, Zebulon. uh, so-called Guatemalans to so-called Panamanians, Asher, so-called Venezuelan, to Brazil, um, Colombia is included in there, so on and so forth. But then wondering how they're going to try to come at with the Southern Kingdom, which is your so-called Negroes, Black American, so-called Black Americans, so-called Haitians, and so-called West Indians, Jamaicans, Barbadians or Bajans, Trinidadians, so on and so forth. This could be very well one of the catalysts to do that, because DC is a big. I mean, now you have a lot of Northern Kingdom now, specifically Zebulon, but still in the inner city, so to speak, your southeast parts of your northeast, uptown, north, certain parts, northwest, southwest, right, is of the tribe of Judah, man. And when you get locked up in DC, you go straight to federal prison if you get convicted, because it's not a state, it's a city state. That's why there's a lot of DC men in federal prison, because there is no state prison that, the feds is going to get involved every time, because that's what it is. The point that I'm getting at is that if he's talking about federalizing DC because of the youth, that is of the violent crime that the youth is committing, what youth is he talking about? Because it ain't no children of no politicians. All right, he's talking about your regular, dread mop headed, skinny jeans, sagging pants, go listening to. Ain't nothing wrong with go. I fuck with go, but I'm just using that. This is what it is. Them little DCYNs, and then so it's not like he's coming at anybody else. He's coming at Judah. All right, so we're starting to see these puzzle pieces getting put together as far as what and how Jacob's trouble is going to be coming about. Of course, the mark of the beast has to come, which is going to really catapult, Jacob's trouble to a whole nother level. All right, when they push the RFID microchip, all right, mandated, all right, through gradualism to get to the point where you'll be punishable by death, right, pursuant to the scriptures, but you shall be cast into prison 10 days, so on and so forth. Those that are martyrs for Hamashiach Yahushua, beheaded, roughly paraphrasing there as well. But we're starting to see now, all right, the draconian measures, all right. I saw a beast come out of the sea having, um, two horns like a lamb, but he shall speak as a dragon. These type of things are basically martial law, man. Basically, if you want to get into it, in Second Esdras it talks about um, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. You know, so when you starting to talk about what do you mean by federal? What, federal troops getting put on the ground in D.C.? You see what I'm saying? Like, but the whole coming at so because you have right now with that on TikTok, Judah, laughing or scoffing at the Northern Kingdom, like, oh, this is what y'all voted for, y'all was all on Trump, so on and so forth, as if y'all not next. You see? And this devil, remember, the scriptures say never trust thine enemy in the Apocrypha in Ecclesiasticus, you know. So just as iron rusts, so does his wickedness, man. So we're about to see the rusting effect, the chemical reaction, the fast pace moving of Esau's wickedness, man, being manifested on all time high. We can even get to in Isaiah 19 talking about the Lord shall set up, a fierce king and a cruel lord to rule over them, man. You know, so and the reason why I can attest to it is because brothers had told me stories about cars getting windows getting bust in. You know what I'm saying? Little skirmishes, before camp or whatever it may be, or potential things that might happen because of, the curses, man. In Deuteronomy 28 talks about how a man that was tender and delicate among you shall, basically look towards their brother, with that hate, that despisable, that look, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'll kill this nigga. That's how That's how the youth move. Not only DC, but in every hood in America. You know. So I was just meditating on it. Wanted to bring that out. Like, yo, okay, it came out yesterday. They had this little story. It's not really fully being talked about, but it was able to try to enact certain unrighteous decrees. That goes into Isaiah 10 because he's trying to what's the name? Um, what is it? Take the rights from the poor of my people, as it goes into verse 2, Isaiah 10 and 2. You know, so we are coming into a time where the type of America and the lifestyle and the things of that nature that people naturally see of what we got going on is going to be completely different. All right, completely different. This whole shit is going to fail. The spirit of Egypt, man. All right. And you got to remember too. Let him say he going to federalize it. He start doing some wild shit. Jake is going to be Judah is going to be roused up. You know, in second Esdras as well talks about they shall not regard their princes, or rulers, man. So it don't matter what law you and what type of enforcement, people is not going to try now. And this is what they want. They want that physical interactions, them violent interactions, something that could be televised in order to have people emotionally, do this and do that, basically to take away more rights so that they can have more control. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And the full control mechanism that they're gonna have is that chip, ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. That's how this devil moves, man. You see what I'm saying? Khan, I'm gonna those are some good precepts. I'm gonna bring that out and then I'm gonna go eat that food. Hungry, man, starving like Marvin. You heard? GMS Tazadakda Ban Yahawada 144K. Shalom, bro. Yabashim Yashabakata, Bashamakakudash. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 5. Oh, Assyrian. Who is the modern day Assyrian? All right, the so-called American, the American Edomite. Okay, it says the rod of mine anger. So the Lord set up the American Edomite, all right, to be a correction, so to speak, to you, you wicked Jake, you 2/3 in America, man. All right, it says, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. Yeah, their support system, anything that supports, the military support. Oh, we need air support. Oh, we need this. We need, boots on the ground. All of that is ultimately of the Lord. Isaiah 45 and 7. He creates the good and the evil. Evil is a compound word, meaning bad times. Okay, so any bad times that happens, you see what I'm saying? It's because of the Lord. All right. Verse 6, it says, I will send him against a hypocritical nation. Right. In our nation, the Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you are hypocritical. You have a zeal towards the Most High, but not according to knowledge, as it says in the book of Romans, man. You know what I mean? All of this Jesus, Allah shit, that's the main two right there. Islam and bum-ass Christianity. All right? You claiming as if you worshiping the God of Israel, but you're not in your actions and your deeds. It says, and against the people of my wrath, okay, will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the Maya in the streets. Okay? And that's the point, man. All right, so I'm going to pretty much leave it there, but I'm going to do more. But I was just thinking, I'm like, yo, how is the Southern Kingdom going to get involved? And you see little chess pieces being moved, because it's not like you talking about, what's a place where there's a high population of Latinos or something like that, like East LA or certain parts of Houston, maybe, or El Paso, Texas, or little cute little Havana in Miami or something like that, or the South Bronx in New York City. You know what I'm saying? For like where Northern Kingdom is heavily populated. We're talking DC, which is the majority heavily populated of the Southern Kingdom, man. And this is going to spread out even more because you're going to see the devil show his horns. He's white because they have a perpetual hatred against you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. All right, and specifically Judah, because that's the head, of the. You know what I'm saying? Judah had Amalek, the chief tribe of Edom, has a heavy hatred for the chief tribe of Israel, which is Judah, man. You see what I'm saying? They've had skirmishes in Brooklyn, Crown Heights before, in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. You see what I'm saying? But they've always been going back to back with it. So we'll see more and more what's going on. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, but that we gonna see, because they, the mainstream media, he can't do that, and federal. Well, he been doing whatever the fuck he want to do. All right, he's the, that cruel lord, that fierce king. He's a king, man, the king of Babylon, man. A puppet head. Yeah, he's controlled by the international banking families, these Rothschilds or whatever, but it is what it is. He's doing that duty, that Nero. So that persecution is coming, man. You know what I mean? Persecution is coming. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Kolo Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Dash, Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Brakatan, Bashim Dash, La Akim, Wa Akwath, La Kal Akim, Wa Akwath. You know what I'm saying? On to the next one. Shalom.